Shipping containers are vital for global trade, but over the last decade, thousands have been lost at sea. And as ships get bigger, reportedly doubling in capacity in just 20 years, the problem is getting worse. Scientists warn the environmental consequences could be catastrophic.
We know we got a problem on the surface, but I think the bigger problem is what's on the seafloor.
That's Russ Lewis, a retired ecologist. He's found everything from mismatched Crocs to squirt guns washing up on beaches. And he knows it's from shipments lost at sea.
That's definitely a container spill when you find more of the same thing more than once. If you find it 3 or 4 times, that kind of strikes me that it's container spill material. Plus it has some biofouling on it.
It's not an easy fix. Ships are essential to people's needs. Shipping containers are used to move the majority of the world's everyday items over long distances in enormous quantities. We got a reminder of just how important this week when news of a dock workers' strike triggered panic buying of essential goods.
Containerized shipping is essentially the box. And so they come in 20 feet, and that's where you hear the abbreviation TEU. For 20-foot equivalent unit, but many of them are 40 feet long. And these boxes have revolutionized world trade because they're very easy to pack, they're very easy to load in most cases, and just by way of example, 250 million containers were moved by containerized shipping last year.
As a result, scientists say there's likely a graveyard of containers at the bottom of the ocean, and their impact on the environment is still being studied. Researchers do know a shipping container that tumbled overboard in Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary in 2004 changed the entire ecosystem around it on the seafloor. It's not the only one. More than 20,000 containers have fallen off ships in the past decade. Though many experts believe the numbers are much higher due to lack of reporting and incomplete data. The contents have poisoned fisheries and land habitats, and there's limited legal consequences. Scientists and environmentalists want that to change.
The fact that when it's in the high seas, there is no kind of liability, and there is no obligation of reporting about that kind of losses.
Environmental advocates are pushing for more tracking of losses and added safeguards to prevent spills. The United Nations International Maritime Organization says it's doing that.
When you lose containers offshore, you have to report that loss to some type of government authority because it's a hazard to navigation. And it might be a pollution hazard depending on what's inside the container. And so, what we're talking about, the International Maritime Organization, and in 2026 will require mandatory reporting. Typically, the reporting is required by coastal states.
But there are no penalties if operators choose not to comply. And ship owners argue it's an impossible task to keep tabs on everything in every container. Adding they're often at the mercy of the company making the product. For info on hazardous materials. For more on this story, download the Straight Arrow News mobile app or visit us online at san.com.